jugando. Camelot.
What's up gamers, welcome back to another episode of Video Game Gems. I'm Ginge the Ripper, let's play a game. Today we're wrapping up the Mario Tennis Academy trilogy with Mario Tennis Power Tour on the Game Boy Advance. Power Tour is a direct sequel to Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color that takes place a few years later. Alex and the rest of the original varsity class are a little older, and now full-time coaches for the newer generation of Academy kids. In the first video, I mentioned that Alex was the most popular character of the series, but I never explained why.
It's me, Alex. I mean regular Alex. Best tennis player ever. Born to be Smash Fighter. Alex for Smash.
When Mario Tennis Power Tour released, it confirmed that Alex won the Island Open in the first game. He placed first in singles and doubles with Harry. The game doesn't tell us how well Nina and Kate did, but since they are coaches as well, we can assume their skill level is close to Alex and Harry's. It's possible they placed third right behind the Costello brothers from the factory school. You meet the Costello brothers in Mario Tennis GBC once you finally make it to the Island Open, along with the members from the other two competing schools. The Costello brothers were basically the game's antagonists, using their stuck-up bad attitudes to scare the competition and get the edge in matches. We know they canonically placed second in both doubles and singles at the Island Open that year, so the furthest Nina and Kate could have gotten was third. Power Tour starts off by introducing our new protagonists, Clay and Ace, a doubles team comprised of both a girl and a guy, so two teams wouldn't have to be created. The game then jumps into the meat of the narrative with the masked players, a handful of tennis players in masks that arrived at the academy for a revenge match against Alex. Up until Alex's match with the masked players, the rookies had never seen him lose. Clay and Ace are filled with curiosity as they run around campus trying to figure out the identity of the masked players, a secret known only to the headmaster, Alex, and the other coaches. If Clay and Ace want in on their little secret, they must place first at the Island Open. With a clear goal in mind, Clay and Ace set off to work their way up through the ranks of the academy for their spot in the Island Open. Once Clay and Ace make it to the varsity class, they meet their rival team, Elroy and Tori. The duo placed second in the Island Open singles and doubles the previous year. So close to victory, the two won't let anyone stop them from winning this year. The Costello brothers make their return as well, but this time as coaches, as their younger brother Willie steps up to try and take the gold as the new representative of the factory school. Power Tour has no shortage of fun and unique characters. Play the game for yourself if you want to meet them all. Mario Tennis Power Tour is smoother than previous entries in the series. In Mario Tennis GBC, the characters are stiffer. Your character must be right in line with the ball or they will miss. If the ball is out of reach in Power Tour, characters can perform a jump or reach shot to hit the ball. Matches are much shorter in Power Tour than in the GBC game. You play one set of 2 games up to the Island Open, and 2 sets of 2 games onward. I personally like this change as full match tennis games can drag on for a while. Power Tour also introduces a new way to play tennis with the Power Bar, a bar that slowly fills up as you play tennis. Once it is full, characters pulsate with energy, allowing them to perform a power shot or save shot. A power shot is a quick, powerful shot that is hard to return. If an opponent manages to pull it off, the shot will disorient them for a few seconds. A save shot allows you to save a ball that gets away from you. Save shots have a limited range. If you try to save a ball that's too far away, you'll end up wasting it. You can also use save and power shots against your opponent's power shots, but you'll still be affected by them. Power shots make matches more strategic. You can save them and protect yourself against an opponent's attacks, or you can use them as soon as you get them for maximum efficiency. There are many different power and save shots with different effects. Each character has their own unique shots except for their protagonists. Clay and Ace can earn each of the shots in the training center except for the ones used by the Mario cast. The training center has been upgraded with more minigames than before, along with the original minigames Wall Training and the Tennis Machine, which have been upgraded for a more enjoyable experience. The panels in Wall Training are stationary, at least on level 1. You gain points by hitting the panels that are lit up. The panels will randomly change directions, sending your ball in the corresponding direction. Your points double with every consecutive panel that you hit, making it easier to rack up points. The Tennis Machine minigame combines two minigames from the original game. The Tennis Machine serves you a set number of balls from a random side of the court. You gain points by hitting the ball in the lit up areas of the court, and are awarded additional points by hitting the ball in the green areas. These two minigames give you experience just like they did in the original game, as well as congratulations and recognition from the original protagonist once you've completed them. There's also various 1-up mushrooms hidden around the academy. If you find one, it will automatically level your character up. After making it to the senior class, you're allowed to access the new minigames. The minigames are divided into two categories: blue save shots on the left side, and red power shots on the right. By beating each of these minigames, your power shot stats will increase. The more they increase, the more power shots you'll unlock. Treadmill is a minigame that tests your speed. You run along a treadmill while jumping over various obstacles that are thrown your way. The treadmill will randomly raise or lower while you play. When it raises, your speed will increase, and when it lowers, your speed decreases. You'll need to adapt to various speeds and time your jumps just right to ensure victory. Swift Spin has you running around on giant screws trying to collect as many coins as you can within a certain time limit. Gold coins are worth 1 point, red coins are worth 5, and blue coins are worth 10. There are flamethrowers along the walls that randomly fire at different heights all the way across the room. If you're hit by one, you'll stop moving for a few seconds. Jump Gym requires you to run around and break blocks like Mario. The blocks are stacked in different patterns depending on their color. You have to break all the blocks to beat a level. If one of the blocks touches the red zone at the end, you lose. Bicep Pump is a minigame where you have to pump a spiked ball up to a certain height to pop a set number of balloons. Yellow balloons are worth 1 point, red balloons are worth 2, and blue balloons are worth 3. If you drop the spiked ball too fast and can't catch it before it hits the ground, your character will be disoriented for a few seconds and you won't be able to pump. Duck Walk is similar to hopscotch. You have to hop across the platform as fast as you can and reach the end before the red lights. Hopping on 1 foot takes you forward 1 space, while hopping on 2 feet takes you forward 2 spaces. If you accidentally hop on one of the electrical pads, they will stun you for a couple seconds. In Rope Climb, you race a bird to the top of a set of climbing ropes while avoiding electrical balls. Climbing 2 ropes at a time is faster than climbing 1. You have to find a good balance to avoid the obstacles and reach the end. You will also stop at various checkpoints along the way and have to grab the flag stationed there before proceeding onward. Reflex Rally is just a game of rock paper scissors against a robot. You have to knock its health down by beating it several times. Each one of the hands are set to a different direction on the D-pad. If you beat the robot, you'll take a heart away. If you tie, nothing happens. And if you lose, a metal tray is dropped on your head, disorienting you for a few seconds. Tightrope is pretty self-explanatory. You walk along a tightrope while racing a blooper to the end. The straighter you hold your balancing pole, the faster you'll go. Along the way, fish and birds will attack your pole, trying to knock you off into the water. If they manage to do so, it takes a few seconds for your character to get back on the tightrope and continue. Instinct Drill is a card matching minigame. You have to match up a certain number of cards before time runs out. There's no penalty for picking 2 separate cards, making this the easiest minigame of them all, at least for someone with a good memory. The harder the difficulty, the more cards you have to sift through at a time. The last minigame you unlock is Tacklebot. Tacklebot is the most obscure minigame in Power Tour. You have to take down a Tacklebot by charging up power and slamming into it. The Tacklebot can do the same thing to you and knock you down for a few seconds if you don't defend yourself. The Tacklebot can also defend itself. You have to wait for an opening and tackle it when its guard is down. How's the music in Mario Tennis Power Tour? The tracks feel like a breath of fresh air, breathing new life into the Academy our second time around. Mario Tennis Power Tour was a huge step up from the original game, adding more content to keep players invested. But what about its flaws? Power Tour only has one definitive flaw, while the rest are personal gripes I have with the game. Ace's story was written before Clay's, which leads me to believe that Ace canonically wins the Island Open singles. This is cool as she would be the first female player we know from the Academy to do so. However, Clay and Ace share the same story. They switch roles depending on who you decide to play as. This means while Clay's story was being written, all of the he's, she's, hims, hers, Clay's, and Ace's that were written into the story had to be swapped. However, there's one scene in the game where they forget to do this. The scene only plays out if you beat the game with Clay in singles before doubles. A personal downside I have with this game is that you don't play against Alex or even unlock him in Exhibition. Alex is the best player at the Academy. It would have been cool to play against him in one final match before or after fighting the masked players as one final test to see how far you've come. Because all of the minigames are unlocked in story mode, there are no minigames you can play or unlock with the Mario cast. Also, there are only 6 Mario characters in this game, and the doubles teams feel like they were thrown together randomly. Mario and Peach, Luigi and Donkey Kong, and Bowser and Waluigi. You can unlock the star version of these characters with upgraded stats like you could in Mario Tennis 64, but even those are unlocked in story mode. There's no reason to play as the Mario characters other than curiosity. Do any of these flaws keep Mario Tennis Power Tour from being a gem? Absolutely not. It's rare to see spelling errors in video games. Writing dialogue for even one character takes a lot of time and effort. It's natural for us to find errors in dialogue from time to time. Even though you can't play against Alex, he and the other classic characters are still fun to have around. And even though the Mario cast is small, there's no shortage of content in the game to keep players invested, and the Mario cast brings something special to the game that would be remiss without them. What is that? Well, that's a secret. You're going to have to play the game for yourself to figure it out. Mario Tennis Power Tour is such a beautiful game. It's got a fantastic soundtrack, advanced controls and gameplay, a variety of unique characters, and a thrilling narrative, so it's safe to say that Mario Tennis Power Tour is a gem. Before we go, I've got a few fun facts for you guys. The Great Fairy of Victory makes an appearance yet again in Power Tour about halfway through the game. However, instead of giving you a special racket, you receive a 1-up mushroom. Clay and Ace both have 4 different color palettes you can use in exhibition matches. This is done so multiple people can play as the same protagonist at the same time. Since the game comes with 3 files, you can play with 3 Aces or Clays at a time by yourself, which leads me to believe you can play with a full set of 4 when multiple games are linked together in multiplayer, but don't quote me on that. Clay and Ace aren't the only characters from story mode that you can unlock in exhibition matches. You can unlock all of the characters you beat in story mode singles and their partners as you play through doubles. With a wide variety of characters to choose from, it makes you wonder why they didn't add more Mario characters. A year and a half before Power Tour released, Camelot worked on a game called Mario Golf Advanced Tour that was similar to the Mario Tennis Academy series. You play as one of 2 young inspiring golfers that work hard to become the best. These 2 protagonists are named Neil and Ella, and this is what they look like. Clay and Ace are clearly rip-offs of these characters. I'm assuming the game didn't sell well, but Camelot liked the protagonists so much they wanted to reuse them, and rework them into a sequel for Mario Tennis GBC. I've thought about reviewing Advanced Tour and Mario Power Tennis, the GameCube version of Power Tour without a story and more Mario characters. However, my Mario Tennis videos aren't getting a lot of attention, and I'm getting sick of talking about sports, so it'll be a while before I do. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep on gaming.